In this video, we're going to talk about taking care of yourself from head to toe. What's up, VIPs? Derek here, back with another video. And all the time on the channel, we talk about sight loss. Obviously, this channel is devoted to sight loss. So we talk about taking care of yourself, watching your eyes, making sure they're protected, taking care of your vision from a health standpoint, all that sort of thing. And taking care of your vision is really important. But today, I want to talk about taking care of all of yourself, physically, mentally, emotionally, and otherwise, because that is one of those crucial things that sometimes we don't pay as much attention to, and we really should, especially if we're visually impaired. By the way, if you're new around here, my name is Derek, and I help people just like you to discover life after sight loss. Here we do product reviews, life advice, encouragement, how-tos, and so much more. So if that sounds good to you, make sure to like, follow, subscribe, and all that other good stuff so that you don't miss another single video. Now, recently, my wife and I have been on a bit of a journey trying to find the best way to eat, to work out, to make our lives as healthy as possible. I will just say as a side note, it's very frustrating because there doesn't seem to be one solid answer out there, but that is just me, and maybe that's not you. It's just frustrating for me. But the point is, we're trying to be as healthy as possible. Now, the reality is, you can do it a lot of different ways. But today, I wanted to talk about taking care of yourself physically, mentally, emotionally, and all that stuff, because so often we get so focused on the sight loss stuff that we lose sight, no pun intended, we lose sight of the things that really can be the most important things. So for example, let's say eating habits, for example. Now, I am not a dietitian or a doctor or any medical professional whatsoever, so please be aware of that as I say these kinds of things. But I've done quite a bit of research in the last month or so and just looked at all kinds of different stuff. Now, I'm not here to recommend any diet or any kind of food for you today, but I am going to say there are certain ways we can eat that will make us healthier and benefit us a lot more than other things. I mean, I think we can all agree that going to McDonald's every day probably isn't the best choice, but making really good choices for you and your family can affect your health. It can also affect your pocketbook as well, but it can really affect your health in many different ways. You might feel better, have more energy, and when you do that sort of thing, then it can affect you in other ways, like getting around and out and about. It can affect you, if you don't feel very good, your eyesight can be a little worse depending on why you don't feel good. So if you're feeling better, your eyesight might improve a little bit. Now, I'm not saying that eating better is going to make your eyesight better. That's not what I'm saying. The point is, if you're feeling better, you're going to have a more optimistic attitude, and that can affect your vision in a lot of ways. So eating better is one of the first things. Also, going out and exercising, whether it's taking a walk around the block, whether it's getting a treadmill, whether it's doing strength training, whatever, that can help you feel better as well. Now, along with diet and exercise, and when I say diet, I don't mean a diet like some particular program or whatever. I mean, just the way we eat and exercise. There are other things as well, like mental health. And we've talked about this on here before, but mental health is so important because if we're depressed, if we're sad, if we're lonely, if we're feeling all those things, that can make us feel a lot worse physically, no matter how good we're eating or what exercise we have. So we have to take care of ourselves mentally as well. And right alongside of that, emotionally goes along with that as well. So things like physical, mental, emotional health are so important. I would lump in there spiritual and maybe even relational health also. There's all these different aspects to our health as a person that we have to be aware of whenever we are just living our lives on a daily basis. But when you have a visual impairment, it can affect those things all along the way. Let's take, for example, that you lost your sight, and now because of that, you can't do the job you always had. So whether you're going to get a new job or not, there might be a time frame where you're at home a lot, especially on your own. So that can create a bit of loneliness, a bit of feeling trapped, and that might make you eat. Then, because you're home alone all the time, you do the grazing where you're wandering around the kitchen looking in things and trying to find food. Why? Because you're most likely bored and you're trying to deal with those emotions that you haven't experienced before, and then you're cramming in the food. On top of that, you most likely aren't getting out and about as much, so you aren't getting any exercise, you're not moving as much, and that can affect you. And so just that example right there can show that that while sight loss might not be a physical thing on your health other than your eyes or optic nerves or something like that, it can affect your health in other ways because of the circumstances that you find yourself in. So I want to make sure that we are paying close attention to the other areas of our lives, the other areas of our health that can be affected because of sight loss. So today, if you're in that situation where you're finding your health declining a bit, and again, I'm not suggesting, you do anything drastic without talking to your professional, your medical professional, doctor and nutritionist, whomever else you need to talk to. But if you're finding yourself in those situations, your health declining a bit, it's probably a good idea to start looking at other things in your life. Like, am I eating differently? Is my exercise down? Is my mental health being affected? How is my relational health? Am I getting along with the people in my family? Have I lost relationships because of sight loss? Because we know that can happen as well. What about your spiritual health? Whether you go to church, whether you belong to a different religion, whether you have just sort of a spiritual connection with things, whatever it is, how is all of that being affected? I think we need to start paying attention to those things because I bet most likely those kinds of areas are being affected by our sight loss, and that is affecting our overall health. So I just want to encourage you today to stop and take a look at other areas of health in your life that may be affected by your sight loss. And if you are in a situation where those other areas are being affected, take time to come up with a game plan on how you're going to work on those areas and improve them a little bit at a time. So my question for you today is this: what's one area of your overall health that you have found has been drastically affected by sight loss? Is it your eating habits? Is it your exercise? Is it your mental health, your relational health? What is one specific area of your health that's been drastically affected? I want to hear about it, and I know others would as well, so let me know in the comments below. Hey, if you like this video, if you found it helpful, make sure to show your support by giving it a big thumbs up and sharing it out with somebody that you know. And if you're watching this on YouTube, make sure to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so that you don't miss another single video. Thanks so much for watching wherever you are, and until next time, remember that sight loss isn't the end, it's just the beginning. My name's Derek Daniel from LifeAfterSightLoss.com, and I'll see you in the next one.